If you're looking to eat more protein and you want to focus on high quality protein sources that don't give you a lot of extra calories for just trying to eat more protein, this is the episode for you. I'm Jonathan. This is the Digital Barbell Podcast. In case you just stumbled across this episode, make sure you subscribe before you leave because we put out 2 podcasts every week that you won't want to miss. And they're absolutely free. How can you beat that? If you look anywhere these days, you're bound to see something about the importance of protein, and for good reason. Are you eating enough protein? Are you eating the right kind of protein? These are the questions everybody wants answers to. To start, let's talk about what protein is made of. They're called amino acids. These are molecules that your body uses to repair and grow new muscle tissue. All in all, there are 20 amino acids and 9 are considered essential, meaning your body can't produce them on their own. You have to get them through your diet. A complete protein has all 9 of the essential amino acids, making it ideal for helping you build muscle. On the other hand, an incomplete protein lacks 1 or more of those essential amino acids, so it's less efficient for muscle repair and growth unless paired with complementary foods in a meal to form complete proteins. Then there's these things called the branch chain amino acids, or BCAAs. They're leucine, isoleucine, and valine. These 3 are particularly important because they play a key role in something called muscle protein synthesis. It's the process of building new muscle tissue. Among those 3 BCAAs, leucine is the MVP because it's most responsible for triggering that muscle building switch called muscle protein synthesis. We'll get into that more later, but let's get right into what you came for. We're going to talk about 6 of the best sources of protein for building muscle. Just a disclaimer though, this is not meant to be a comprehensive list of every single high protein food out there, okay? If you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment below with your favorite source of protein, especially if I don't cover it today. Okay, let's talk about number 1, chicken breast. Chicken breast is a top tier choice for building muscle, and here's why. First, it is a complete protein with an excellent amino acid profile, including a solid dose of that one we talked about earlier, leucine. 4 ounces of chicken breast will get you about 26 grams of protein with only 3 grams of fat, making it one of the leanest and most effective options out there for protein. Turkey breast is nutritionally about the same as chicken breast, but you're less likely to find turkey breast in the grocery store like you are chicken. The reason we care about how lean a protein source is because we don't want to get a bunch of extra calories from fat in order to get enough protein. All those extra calories are what lead to weight gain. Chicken breast is super versatile too. Whether you decide to bake it, grill it, or shred it, chicken should definitely be a staple in your muscle building menu. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. I don't want to eat chewy, plain, dry chicken breast all the time. Please don't forget that salt and seasonings don't have any significant number of calories. And if you cook your chicken to about 165 degrees, it's not going to dry out and turn into jerky. All right, moving on to another great source of protein from our friend the chicken. We're talking about eggs. If they're good enough for Rocky Balboa, they are definitely good enough for us. Eggs are often called the gold standard of protein because they're one of the most bioavailable sources of complete protein. Each egg has about 6 grams of protein, and the yolk is packed with healthy fats, vitamins, and even some BCAAs. Here's a little tip. Since whole eggs have a decent amount of fat, they have more calories than some other sources of protein. So try combining whole eggs with egg whites in a meal to keep the protein high, but keep the calories low. All right, let's jump to another great source of protein. We're talking about shrimp. If you're looking for a protein source that's both lean, low calorie, and incredibly nutritious, shrimp is a great option. Just 4 ounces of shrimp delivers 24 grams of protein with less than 1 gram of fat. It's also packed with important micronutrients like selenium and iodine, which support overall health and thyroid function. We all know that shrimp cooks quickly and works well in stir fries, salads, and pasta dishes. Plus, its high protein to fat ratio makes it ideal for hitting your muscle building macros without getting a bunch of extra calories. Although shrimp's generally considered to be low in mercury, if you want to play it safe, just limit yourself to 2 servings per week. Okay, let's throw a food in the mix that's made from milk and generally considered a supplement: whey protein. Whey protein is king when it comes to delivering protein conveniently. As a complete protein with a high leucine content, whey is excellent for muscle growth and recovery. It's also fast digesting, which makes it perfect for a post-workout shake if you're not going to be able to have a balanced meal anytime soon. Whey isolate is especially useful if you're looking to minimize fat and carbs. It delivers about 25 grams of protein per scoop with minimal calories from carbs and fat. If you're too busy to cook or you're always on the go, whey protein is a great option to fill the holes in your protein game. Let's change gears and show some love to our non-meat eating friends out there. For vegetarians and vegans, plant-based proteins like lentils, chickpeas, beans, and tofu are excellent options. While most plant-based proteins are incomplete, you can combine them with other foods like rice or quinoa to form a complete protein in your meal. For example, 1 cup of cooked lentils has about 18 grams of protein, along with fiber and other essential nutrients. Just try to be mindful of the additional carbs that vegetarian sources of protein bring along with them, especially if you're trying to lose weight or avoid gaining weight. We've got an entire podcast on how to eat a high protein diet as a vegetarian, so I'll put a link to that in the show notes below. All right, on to our final suggestion for a great source of protein to build muscle: lean beef. Beef's not just high in protein either. It's also a great source of iron, zinc, and creatine, which supports muscle building and overall performance. Lean cuts of beef like sirloin or 90% lean or higher ground beef deliver about 25 grams of protein in a 4-ounce serving, along with 2.5 grams of leucine, which is a great amount. Beef can have a great protein to fat ratio, assuming you choose lean cuts, making it a pretty low calorie, satisfying choice for building muscle. All right, so with those 6 food suggestions out of the way, let's talk more about leucine and why it's so critical. Like we talked about earlier, leucine is one of the branched chain amino acids, and it's the one that's responsible for triggering muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as the on switch for muscle growth and repair. Research tells us that it takes about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to optimize muscle protein synthesis. And just for perspective, remember, 1 scoop of whey and 1 4-ounce chicken breast both have about 2.5 grams of leucine. Focusing on protein sources that have a lot of leucine really is important if one of your goals is to build muscle. As long as you're eating a lot of the sources that we mentioned in this episode, you'll be covered, you'll be getting plenty. Finally, we've got to touch on collagen protein. While it's definitely popular right now for improving skin, joints, and hair, collagen is not ideal for building muscle. It is an incomplete protein missing key essential amino acids, including leucine. And if I'm being honest, the current research suggests that it may not be any better at making your skin less wrinkled or your hair more shiny than just eating a high protein diet in general. If you want to throw collagen protein in your coffee as a creamer, go for it, but just don't get confused and think that it's the same as a muscle building source of protein. Here's my suggestion of how to apply all this in your regular life. Spread your protein intake evenly across the course of your day, aiming to hit about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per day per pound that you weigh. If you want to know exactly how much we recommend for you and your goals, we do have a calculator, so I'll put that in the show notes below. Number 2, focus on complete protein sources as often as possible, especially ones high in leucine. Number 3, mix animal-based and plant-based proteins as needed to keep your diet balanced and interesting. Be sure to use low-calorie sauces and seasonings to actually make your food taste good, because nobody sticks with a diet that they hate. That's all I got for you today. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, feel free to leave us a 5-star review. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button before you go. Have a great day.